Today we're talking about a topic that's near and dear to many of you, the digital nomad life. I know a lot of you are dreaming of packing up your laptops and working from exotic beaches, but before you book that one-way ticket, we need to talk about something important. Not all countries live up to the hype. In this video, we're diving into 5 countries that seem to be hyped up for digital nomads, but in reality may not live up to the expectations. We'll be looking at the tax implications, the cost of living, the visa situations, and more to give you a realistic view of what it's actually like to live and work in these places. If you're thinking of packing your bags and moving abroad, stay tuned to find out why these countries might not be the best choice. And as always, don't forget to comment below if you agree or disagree. First up, we're heading to Spain, a country that's often romanticized for its beautiful beaches, delicious food, and vibrant culture. And don't even get me started on the amazing real estate you can find in Spain. It's no wonder so many people dream of living there. Spain's Golden Visa program, which offers residency in exchange for investments, has also become increasingly popular. But here's the thing about Spain. The tax situation can be a real buzzkill, especially for digital nomads. You see, Spain's tax benefits are often misrepresented. Many people think they can avoid paying taxes in Spain if they spend less than 183 days there. But unfortunately, it's not that simple. Spain has something called tax residency, and it's determined by a number of factors, not just how many days you're physically present in the country. For example, if you have a permanent home in Spain, or if your spouse and children live in Spain, you could be considered a tax resident, even if you spend most of the year elsewhere. And if you are considered a tax resident of Spain, you'll be taxed on your worldwide income, not just the income you earn in Spain. On top of that, Spain has a wealth tax, which means you could be taxed on your assets, like real estate and investments, even if you're not earning any income from them. Now, I'm all for paying your fair share of taxes, but Spain's tax system can be particularly burdensome, especially when you compare it to other countries that are more digital nomad friendly. And speaking of visas, obtaining citizenship in Spain isn't a walk in the park either. The process can be long and complicated, requiring years of residency and proficiency in the Spanish language. So, if you're looking for a quick and easy path to citizenship, Spain might not be the best option. Don't get me wrong, Spain is an incredible country with a lot to offer, but it's important to be realistic about the challenges, especially when it comes to taxes and visas. There are other countries out there that offer a more straightforward and tax-advantageous environment for digital nomads. Next, we're hopping over to Northern Europe to talk about Estonia, a country that's gained a reputation as a digital nomad haven. And for good reason. Estonia has a lot going for it. It's incredibly tech-savvy, with high-speed internet and a thriving startup scene. They were one of the first countries to offer E-Residency, a program that allows entrepreneurs and freelancers to manage their businesses online from anywhere in the world. But here's the thing about Estonia's E-Residency program. It's often misunderstood. You see, E-Residency doesn't actually give you residency in Estonia. It doesn't give you the right to live there, and it doesn't automatically exempt you from paying taxes in your home country. What E-Residency does do is give you a digital identity and allow you to register a company in Estonia. This can be beneficial if you're looking for a business-friendly environment with a simplified tax system for your company. However, it's important to note that Estonia's tax system, while favorable in some aspects, isn't necessarily a tax haven. You'll still need to pay taxes on your income, and the specific tax implications will depend on your individual circumstances and where you're actually residing. Another thing to consider is that opening a bank account in Estonia as an e-resident has become increasingly difficult in recent years. Estonian banks have become more strict with their due diligence procedures, making it challenging for e-residents, especially those who are not physically present in Estonia, to open and maintain bank accounts. So while Estonia might seem like a dream come true for digital nomads on the surface, it's important to dig a little deeper and understand the realities of the e-residency program and the banking situation. Don't get caught up in the hype. Make sure Estonia aligns with your specific business needs and long-term goals. Let's shift gears and head south to Chile, a country that's often praised for its stunning natural beauty, from the Atacama Desert to Patagonia. Chile has definitely become a popular destination for digital nomads and expats in recent years, especially after gaining visa-free travel to the US a while back. But lately, I've been noticing a trend. Chile's popularity might be starting to work against it. You see, when a country experiences a surge in popularity, especially from foreigners, it can lead to what I call the visa waiver effect. Essentially, the government starts implementing stricter regulations and increasing costs to manage the influx of people, and that's exactly what we're seeing in Chile. Visa regulations have become more stringent, making it more complicated and expensive for foreigners to live and work there long term. On top of that, the cost of living in Chile, particularly in major cities like Santiago, has been steadily rising. Rent, groceries, transportation is not as affordable as it used to be, and in some cases it's even comparable to living in parts of the US or Canada. And then there's the political climate. Chile has experienced significant political unrest and protests in recent years. While these protests are often rooted in legitimate grievances, they can disrupt daily life and make it challenging to feel safe and secure. Now, I'm not saying Chile is a bad place to live or work. It has a lot to offer and many people thrive there, but it's crucial to be aware of these factors and to have realistic expectations. Don't just go based on what you see on Instagram. Do your research, talk to people who actually live there and decide if Chile aligns with your lifestyle and your budget. Next, we're heading to Southeast Asia, a region that's practically synonymous with digital nomads. And when it comes to Southeast Asia, Thailand is often the first country that comes to mind. The land of smiles, delicious food, beautiful beaches, and an incredibly low cost of living. It's no wonder Thailand has become a digital nomad hotspot. But here's the thing, Thailand's popularity might be its downfall, especially for digital nomads. Let's start with Bangkok, the capital city. Bangkok is an incredible city, don't get me wrong. It has a vibrant energy, amazing street food, and a fascinating culture, but it's also incredibly crowded, chaotic, and the traffic can be a nightmare. For some digital nomads, that fast-paced, overwhelming environment can be exhilarating, but for others it can be exhausting and make it difficult to focus on work. And then there's the cost of living. While Thailand is still relatively affordable, especially compared to Western countries, the cost of living has been steadily increasing in recent years, particularly in tourist hotspots. And let's be honest, as a digital nomad, you'll likely be spending most of your time in those touristy areas. Another thing to keep in mind is that Thailand's visa regulations are becoming increasingly strict, especially for those who want to stay long-term. The days of easily extending tourist visas are long gone. Now you'll need to apply for specific visas, which often require proof of income, employment, or investment. And let's not forget about the taxes. Thailand's tax laws can be complex, and many digital nomads find themselves in hot water because they don't fully understand the rules. Just because you're earning income online doesn't mean you're exempt from paying taxes in Thailand. So, while Thailand might seem like a digital nomad paradise on the surface, it's important to be aware of the challenges and to have realistic expectations. Last but not least, we're heading to Central America to talk about Belize, a small country with a big reputation. Belize is often marketed as a retirement haven, and it's easy to see why. It boasts beautiful beaches, lush rainforests, and a laid-back Caribbean vibe. But is Belize all it's cracked up to be, especially for digital nomads and expats? Well, let's start with the infrastructure. While Belize has made strides in recent years, its infrastructure is still developing compared to other countries. Internet access can be spotty, especially outside of major cities, which can be a deal-breaker for digital nomads who rely on a stable internet connection. And then there's the healthcare system. Again, while Belize has some decent healthcare facilities, they're often concentrated in urban areas and the quality of care can be inconsistent. For expats who require regular medical attention or have pre-existing conditions, this can be a major concern. And let's talk about the cost of living. Despite its reputation as an affordable destination, Belize's cost of living can be surprisingly high, especially when it comes to imported goods. Food, electronics, and other essentials can be expensive, and if you're used to a certain standard of living, you might find yourself spending more than you anticipated. Another thing to consider is Belize's location. While its proximity to the Caribbean Sea is a major draw, it also means that Belize is susceptible to hurricanes and tropical storms. And if you're someone who likes to travel frequently, Belize's location can make it a bit isolated and expensive to fly to other destinations. So, while Belize might seem like a dream come true for retirees or those seeking a slower pace of life, it's important to weigh the pros and cons carefully. Don't just buy into the marketing hype. Do your research, talk to people who have experience living in Belize, and decide if it aligns with your lifestyle and your budget. So there you have it, 5 countries that are often hyped up as digital nomad paradises, but in reality come with their own set of challenges. Remember guys, there's no such thing as a perfect place to live or work. Every country has its pros and cons, and what matters most is finding a place that aligns with your values, your lifestyle, and your budget. Before making any big moves as a digital nomad, it's important to separate the hype from reality. Do your due diligence, talk to people who have experience living in these countries, and don't be afraid to ask tough questions. And for those of you who have experience living in or traveling to these countries, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation.